Okay. The next one is we have default and flexible arguments. So we learned about how to create our normal user-defined functions with some arguments. But most of the functions down the line, we need to provide some best parameter default value. Then only customer will be happy. I mean to say, if you are trying to do one product installation, most of the windows will be coming some best option as a default option. Similar to that, in one function, what are the parameters are available? As a subject matter expert, you created that one, you know which parameter is the best parameter. You need to keep that is a default value, you have to keep it. Someone who knows better than you or the data is different, that guy, if you want to customize that parameter, you can customize in future. Like that, we have to provide it. So based on that concept, these default parameters are came into the picture. You see this one of the package which is coming from machine learning. Purpose of this one is machine learning. So sklearn, in that one, linear model is a one module. Then we are importing a function which is known as linear regression. So here we have, this is sklearn is called as package. Sklearn is called as package. And whatever we have here, linear model is called as module. This is called as module. This is called as package. And whatever we have this one, this is called as function. So what I'm trying to say is whenever someone is creating the function, they'll make sure some default parameters already available with that. Said that if you go and try to observe this one, then we have the help document here. In this help document, you can notice I have one of the thing fit interpret. By default, what it is taking here true. Normalize, by default, what is taking false. Copy underscore x, by default is taking as true. N jobs is equal to 1. Time being, I'm able to explain n jobs at this point of time. N jobs is nothing but default is 1. The number of jobs to use for the computation. If -1 is provided, all CPUs are used. This will only provide speed up for n targets greater than 1 and sufficient to large problems. Meaning, here by default it is taking how many CPUs? One CPU. Let us say we have big cluster is available. Still, default is going for the one CPU. If you want to customize that one, let us say your data set is huge, then you can go and you can provide 4 or 5 or what, how many CPUs you want, you can provide it. And you don't know how many CPUs are available in the cluster, even you can provide over there -1. -1 indicates at the time of running how many CPUs are free, that many CPUs are going to be used over there. But however, a by default value for number of jobs is what? 1. If you are not providing anything, by default it is going to take 1. If you provide anything, it is going to use what you provided. Similar to that, for deep learning purpose, we have here one of the package which is known as Keras. This is called as package. And we have one thing, this is called as module. And we have one thing, this is called as function. This is called as function. So this function also have some of the things are already defined. Meaning, if you go and try to observe this one, the sequential we have here, if I execute it, then we are having the two parameters. One is called as layers. Second is called as name. Both are by default available none. That means what? Null values it is going to take over there. Null values it is going to take over there. How to create such a beautiful default parameters that we have to understand. Let's see the first exercise 1, default arguments. We are trying to calculate here power with base and power, two parameters we are taking. In this context, base is a mandatory parameter and power is a optional or default. It is going to take as 2. If you are not providing anything, by default it is going to take 2, it is going to take it. For example, in this case, did I provide any value for the power? No. As you didn't provide any value for the power, default value is what given? 2. So 3 power 2 calculating and is giving the 9 here. But in this case, default value overrides with user provided value. Default value I have 2, but user provided what is the value? 3. So it is overridden. So 3 cube is 27 it is giving. And as you people are aware of it, how many parameters we have in this one? 2 parameters. But how many parameters we are trying to provide here? 3, which is not possible. That's what it is throwing the error by saying takes 1 or 2 positional arguments, but 3 were given. Why it is giving 1 or 2 is because one is mandatory, second one is what? Optional. If you provide, it's well and good. If you are not providing, it's going to take default whatever value available, it is going to take that. Now, next is available, observe some system defined functions with flexi arguments. Okay, we'll go for this flexi arguments. Is it clear now default things? Yeah. Now in the case of default things, some value already we are defining it. However, how many parameters maximum it is accepting here? 2. Maximum is 2. If you provide here 3, it is throwing here error. But sometimes what will happen is we are not sure how many parameters we supposed to provide in the runtime. I mean to say in the Excel, I am going for one of the formula. That formula is called as max, min, sum, average, this kind of things. So how many parameters we need or how many values we need, that I am not sure, right? For example, my weight is, let us say, 78 and someone's weight is, let us say, 79. Someone's weight is, let us say, 45. Someone's weight is, let us say, 29. Sorry. Someone's weight is, let us say, 80. Let's say in my classroom, I have 4 members are available. These 4 members, sum I have to calculate it. Then I am using here sum, then I am calculating it. Is it saying anything here? Number of arguments are fixed. Tomorrow if I give instead of 4, 40, will it accept or not? Here I give how many values values here? 4 values as input, right? Tomorrow instead of the 4, if I give the 40, will it accept or not? Yes. That means number of arguments I am expecting here flexibility. That flexibility we can achieve by using here flexi arguments. For example, in case of min, observe the min syntax here. The min is available. How many things are mandatory? Argument 1 is mandatory. Argument 2 is mandatory. Thereafter, star args is available. Star arg stands for after these 2 parameters, how many are passing also, it's okay. In this problem, sometimes it may be 10, sometimes it may be 1000, sometimes it may be 10,000, doesn't matter. But how many things minimum required? 2 things minimum required for the min, and rest is how many you are providing as for the business strategy you can provide it. For that you have to define here star is mandatory, but args, whatever spelling is available, that you can provide any name you can provide it. That is user defined name in fact. Similarly, mags also will be there. For example, min of 2, only one I am providing, it is throwing an error. Why it is throwing an error? Because how many parameters minimum we are saying here? 2. Argument 1, argument 2. But only one you are providing, only one means it won't accept it. And if you are providing here, let us say 6 you are providing, it is giving the answer to you. How to bring this flexibility is like this, you are going to bring it. We are trying to say star arcs. In my class, I have 3 batches like 7 a.m. one batch, 8 a.m. one batch, 9 a.m. one batch. There is a possibility in 7 a.m. 10 members only registering for the course. In 8 a.m., let's say 15 members are registering for the course. 9 a.m. 20 members are registering for the course. Then I should be in a position to pass a number of arguments different based on the situation. I have to pass it, right? So I am trying to read these args whatever available in the runtime. I am going to pass it. Then I am trying to give you a total fee as a output. First I am passing here 100 and 200. That means what? 2 students are joined. One student paid $100. Second student paid $200. Then it is giving you total fee as 300. Suppose in the next batch 5 members are joined. Then 5 members fee I am trying to sum up here. Then we got here 1500, we got it. Okay. Now let us go for exercise 3. Some mandatory and flexible arguments are managing here. We are trying to pass here tax is a mandatory, then star R's is the flexible. From each student, fee plus tax I am going to take it, let us say. Okay, even if you are giving the discount in the fee, it's okay, but tax you have to pay mandatory, let us say. That is fixed, let us say. Then we are going to say tax is mandatory and star is where this is flexible, we are saying it, for example. Then how we are handling that one? So first parameter automatically will go into the tax. Next, how many things you are providing, that doesn't matter. Those all are passing to what? Star arcs. That's how this will works. Now for each student, 10 plus 100, 10 plus 200, 10 plus 300, 10 plus 400 is becomes the total fee what he is supposed to pay. So one student paid 110 now, one student paid 210, one student paid 310, one student paid 410. That gives you total 1040 it is giving. Now we are going for flexibility with key and value arguments. I think this is better to take next. First we'll try to practice these 2 activities. Then I'll come to that one. Okay, let us go and try to the lab for this. Then we'll come back to the key and value. Okay.